Happy day, I'm glad. The world has changed a lot, especially in the past 10 years. I feel like the internet has had a lot to do with that. And, you know, the world's changing. It's kind of scary. One day I'm gonna be old and maybe it's gonna change so much I'm gonna be like, oh, gross, I don't like it anymore, and I'm gonna become a boomer. Who knows? But today we're gonna look at 10 things that are, luckily, disappearing in the modern world. Number 1, women can be good wives and mothers and still work on the same level with men. On the same level? Okay, you guys are gonna come for me for this, but like, here's my hot take. I think that being a wife and mother is fine, and I think that it could be considered equal. I had this friend who was like, I'm not just gonna sit on my butt and raise kids, I'm gonna work too. And I was like, well, I mean, I think it's fine for like, and she's like, ah! And I was like, okay, we can't, I don't think that me and you can have a conversation right now. It got like kind of heated and kind of intense, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting for your life to be a mother. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with aspiring to be a mother. I think it's great that like a lot of women are like doing both and juggling both, but I feel like that's really hard. Like, my mom didn't work while I was a toddler so she could take care of me, and I don't think there's any shame in that. And I think that she was working at the same level as my dad, if not even more, because she was like, my dad didn't have to clean up poop. She did. And it was crazy. Raising me was crazy. She did that. People with tattoos are not criminals. They get them because they like them. I have a tattoo, but I'm also a criminal, so I don't know about that. But yeah, it is kind of cool like how many people have tattoos, especially like walking down the street in Toronto. Like, I never noticed until I had a tattoo, like how many people have tattoos. A lot of people. They're almost like normal, you know? Like, they're still like not normal. Like, people still like stare at my arm when I'm walking down the street, but it's not in like an way. It's more in like a, oh, what's that way, which is like kind of interesting. No more fashion standards because we recognize all shapes and body sizes. I'd say in the high fashion world, there is still like a height requirement and a size requirement. Like, it's a little bit more flexible now, but I don't think that they're changing that much. I think Instagram is cool because anyone at any size can like build a huge following. And the other thing I think is really cool, God bless America. Well, not America, but like the standards for changing. Because like when I was little, I really didn't like how all of my weight went to my thighs. I didn't like it one bit. And now like every time I eat something, I'm like, yeah, baby, go to my thighs. Thank you, thick legs, for being a thing. And even if they're not a thing anymore, I'm happy with my legs. And I know by a lot of people's standards, they're like not big legs, but like I grew up my whole life thinking that like my legs were really big. And I'm glad that like while I'm still relatively young, I can be like, yeah, you know, it's all good. Because nothing would suck more than like wasting your whole youth being like, ugh, I hate how I look, and then by the time you get old, then exactly what you are becomes like a coveted thing. That would really suck. But it is cool how it's like, there's a lot more diversity now. Only you can decide when all the important things should happen in your life. The right age to enter college, get married, become a mother. You have to follow a certain trajectory in a certain timing. Otherwise, you're failing. I mean, I feel like this is like on a family by family basis. And I feel like if I like never found any sort of like measurable success, then, you know, the timeline would have become a lot more rigid. But yeah, it is cool how like people are choosing not to get married, people are choosing not to have kids, people are choosing to enter college when they're like old. I think that's pretty cool. A disability is no longer a reason to stare and point a finger at someone. Maybe this was a thing like before my time, because I don't quite remember being a kid in school and people like pointing and laughing at people with disabilities, especially people in wheelchairs. I feel like if it was like something that's more mental that you can't like visually see, then that person would have a harder time, but, or maybe I just grew up with some really good kids, because I feel like pointing at a wheelchair is really, that's just a really not cool thing to do. Maybe 2019 has just really shaped my brain that I can't even conceive of things that I've seen in the background. Color is just color no matter whether it's skin or something else. There's no more of this. This article is saying it's vanishing in the modern world. And also something that I think is really cool is like how prominent hip hop music is. And like whenever you listen to music, like it's, I'm really bad at like explaining myself. I think I drank too much coffee. I'm gonna drink some more coffee to fix that. Yeah, racism isn't cool. I remember when I was on the train one time, this like crazy dude was like, he was like muttering under his breath about me. He was like, oh, this third world girl poisoning me. Yeah. Like he wasn't really making a lot of sense. I think he was like I think that there was something wrong with him, but, and I think he still exists today. I think that there's always gonna be crazies, but as long as it's not the norm, then that's cool. A household is not just a female business anymore. I mean, that's good, right? This guy's just petting the cat. I would like to think that in any household, she would be like, can you stop petting the cat? and do the dishes, please. It would be a shame if she just like did all this and didn't even complain that he's petting the cat. But at least the cat's getting love. Maybe they should do shifts, like I get to pet the cat and then you get to pet the cat. That must be a very loved cat. This guy is staring at this cat. I wish that he stared at his wife the way he stared at this cat. That's all I can say. Being overweight is no longer a shame. Luckily, this is vanishing in the modern world. I feel like this article is like very optimistic, but I like how optimistic it is because we all get to like hold hands and just love each other in the future. That's the world we want to live in, right? No one is too old or too young to be a professional. Too old to work, this old guy, and too young to work, this guy. I mean, I think retirement age is like still a thing, and I think in Canada you still can't get a job until you're 14, so I don't know what this means. Unless you like have a YouTube channel and your parents sign for you and you make tons of money and your parents pocket all of it. There's a lot of like guys that I know who like wanted to keep working but couldn't because they like had to retire. Unless you're like really good at freelancing, I feel like this still exists. And I don't think that anyone's going to want child labor to happen again anytime soon. And I don't think anyone is going to contest the retirement age because then there's going to be a lot of like young able-bodied people who like can't get a job because all these old geezers just won't like step down because they can work forever. Children should play, not work. Depends on the part of the world you're from and like how privileged you are, but I would say like, yeah, maybe overall it's changed. We've looked at things that are vanishing for us, and I want to know about things that are like gonna vanish in the future. And one of the things apparently is chocolate. Apparently the cocoa production is reducing in the world. Analysts believe that the ever-increasing gap between the demand and supply of chocolate will only increase. So wait, in the future, more of us are gonna want chocolate, and there's not gonna be a lot of chocolate left. What is that? Does that mean that like we have to stock up on chocolate now, or that we're gonna have like some weird fake chocolate substitutes? I never would have thought that chocolate might go extinct someday. The last things we went through were like very uplifting, and now it's like, a world without chocolate? What? That's actually really scary. Gold? People are losing interest in gold? Well, I would not know anything about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Miners are pulling themselves out of this business. Investments in gold are okay, you know what? You gold people can deal with your gold problems. Cash is gonna disappear. Soon they're gonna be able to just scan you and be like, you look like you're worth money. No, that'd be really scary. Your smartphone and fingerprints will be enough to buy your favorite stuff. Okay, I feel like, yeah, carrying cash around, like I haven't done that in a very long time. And I could see like cash going away, but not going extinct. Cause then how are you gonna go to your favorite pho place that only takes cash? I guess, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like cash only places. There's a certain charm to it. In the future, signatures are gonna be gone and replaced with what? Eye scans? That would be crazy. Or like fingerprints. I don't like the idea of like a fingerprint or an eye scan because it feels like there's like a database that knows more about me than it should, but I also feel like signatures are like a really flimsy thing where like somebody could copy it or like plagiarize it. The idea of signatures has always, even since I was a kid, made me very nervous. But I don't really like the trade-off of like banks and like the government and stuff like having like a scan of my actual eye and like knowing exactly what I do. Like imagine if like Google's like, oh, we have your DNA, you know? We have your DNA and we know what you've been surfing, and we can't get it wrong because you're the only one with your eye. That'd be really scary. Remote controls, I mean, we don't really use remotes anymore. So you know, and they're just like, you lose them all the time, whereas you never really lose your phone. The idea of like controlling everything with your phone or like something that's already attached to everything, or like walking in your house and being like, turn on the news! I feel like it makes a lot more sense than an old remote control, but at least the remote control isn't listening to you. Traffic jams? Doesn't this sound like a dream? Yes, it sounds like a dream. Driverless cars are gonna stop traffic jams, but doesn't that mean that we're just gonna like get everywhere way slower? I don't think that people are ever gonna give up their love for the open road. Especially people who love driving. Like, I don't think that driving in general is ever gonna go extinct, but I feel like, yeah, maybe traffic jams will. Fast food workers. Now, this is the one that scares me because, like, when I was 14, I got a job at a fast food restaurant, and, like, what would I have done for money if fast food didn't exist? Like, apparently it's gonna be replaced by robots. This robot is serving this guy's pancakes. It's a little nerve-wracking. But I could definitely see how, like, a robot could do it and do it better and, like, not forget my fries or my sweet and sour sauce. Like, I could see how that would be a lot more convenient, but I feel like, you know, it builds character to work in a fast food restaurant, and a lot of people like do it for a career, so like it freaks me out that that's something that's going away. Surgeons also might not exist in the future because they're gonna be replaced by robots! Ah! Would I feel safer with a robot operating on me? I think so. I mean, I feel like I'd let it sit for like 10 years and then I would go in and do it. Would you rather have like a surgeon do your operation with like you know, surgeon. He's human too. He knows what you're going through. Or would you rather have like a robot who understands the way everything should go, and if something goes wrong and like they could like fix it in an instant and they don't have to like call in a specialist? Surgeon or robot? What would you prefer? Although like fast food being replaced by robots is one thing, but like surgeons, like these guys go to school for this and they like try really hard and they like compete and go to med school just to be replaced by a robot? What a weird dystopia we're gonna be living in. There might not be diabetes in the future? Scientists are already looking for a clone of sugar which will look and taste just like sugar without its effects. That's kind of cool. Wow, the future's exciting. I wish I could just like live forever and like see how everything looks. I wish I could live forever and see like how the world ends. I'm very interested in that, but I won't, so. Unless someone wants to end the world soon, yeah! Just kidding, don't do that. Privacy! Privacy is gonna go extinct! I feel like the internet has like changed a lot since I was a kid because, you know, when we were little, like everybody had anonymity and now like nobody has, I can't remember what video I watched where like I saw like a whole spiel about this, but it's like true. Like before it was like the Wild West and you could like say whatever you wanted, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing because there was a lot of like people being really rude, but also like there was this weird like freedom to it, you know? And there was something so like innocent and wholesome about it. But now, you know, we sacrificed our privacy to be able to police each other better. Pros and cons. Locks and keys. I can't wait for keys to go away. They suck. Terry was like out of town for a while and I was like, oh, the keys. And like, it was just, it sucks dealing with keys. Although I should deal with keys even when Terry is around, but I'm useless. Chargers. Terry has like a charger thing where he like charges his phone by his computer wirelessly. And even for me, like I feel old because I was like, wow, that's so ducky. Would you look at that? I don't really know what this video was, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for rambling so much. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you'd ever like to see me again, make sure you hit push notifications and I will see ya on the next one. Bye.